Hello everyone and welcome back to yet another video. And in this one, we'll be taking a look at many different species that can survive in a vacuum. The idea may sound dumb as opposed to how someone can live without breathing. And how can anything naturally breathe in a vacuum? But this is the insane and vast world of Star Wars, the Galactic Odyssey. So fingers crossed, I hope you guys can be hooked on this effort and will enjoy the video. That said, let's start the video. Number 10. Summa Veremoth. If you're not familiar with this species, they are huge, 8 kilometers long space squids. 8-kilometer long space squids with large tentacles. They have huge suckers and electrical stingers on their long, squiddy arms and have the power to rip your ship apart in a single blow. Or they can overload your ship and disable the systems. These enormous beasts have very powerful physical abilities and are able to even invade the minds of heroes of the Empire like Darth Vader. These things will try to eat everything in their path and should not be messed with. Luckily, they are quite rare and usually in hibernation most of the time. If you do run into one of these things, you most likely are in the wrong part of the galaxy and you're really screwed. The best chance you will have at escaping them would be to use your escape pod as a decoy and run. Number 9. Pergil. It is said that Pergil is the creature that inspires the early space travelers to invent hyperdrive to be able to cruise alongside these majestic creatures. They are also called space whales, and they grow to about 30 meters in length. They fly through space and survive by consuming cosmic gas. They process cosmic gas inside their bodies and can turn it into hyper-traveling fuel. These Pergils are also causes of many accidental deaths in the universe, and if you do come across one, you should know that they move around in large pods. So if you end up in one of their pods, try to go to the smaller Pergils. It will minimize the damage to your ship. Also remember, these beasts are full of space fuel, so if you're in a tough spot and need some juice, you can always harvest it from them. Number 8. Oswaft. Up next, we have Oswaft. Like most of the space creatures, they grow to massive sizes, usually ranging between 500 to 1,000 meters in length. However, they are a rare sight, mainly because they are transparent. They do become opaque once they die. Given the advantage of being transparent, these creatures are pretty calm and rarely attack, and really don't go far from their home. It's pretty easy to take out these pests if you do see them in the hyperspace lanes, and that is because 2/3 of their mass is actually their brain, so almost every shot on the target counts as a headshot. Number 7. Groot Chin. If you remember the days of the Clone Wars, you must have heard of the buzz droids. These terrifying creatures that could fly in outer space and have the ability to latch themselves to pretty much anything in their way. They could disable your weapon, as well as other systems of the ship. The Groot Chin were Vong's bioengineered Locust-like version of the buzz droids. They were designed to kill and destroy everything in their path. On a battlefield, they had to clean them up after the battle. These things were heavily armored with natural shells that could spew acid from their mandibles that could cut through most materials. Number 6. Verpine. These industrious insects were known for their amazing engineering skills, but did you know they actually came from an asteroid belt originally? Which means they can actually breathe in the vacuum. You're most likely not going to be running into a Verpine in the middle of space on your average shipping run. But remember, if you do have any problems with a member of the Verpine species and decide to throw them into an airlock, you're probably not going to be able to kill them. This way, you're going to have to use conventional weapons. That will give you the best chance at fighting them. Number 5. Exogorth. Exogorth is a large silicon-based sentient species that lives inside of the hollows of asteroids and can grow up to 1 kilometer in length. Now, these things are not easy to spot, and some unfortunate spacers have accidentally flown inside some of these great beasts. Exogorths are usually peaceful, and they do like to enjoy cultivating a diverse ecosystem inside their bodies. but you do not want to get trapped inside one of them or trigger them just for the sake of it, because they have been known to be able to swallow entire Imperial-class Star Destroyers. Number 4. Minox. Minox are a silicon-based life form that live in a similar asteroid environment to Exogorths, and sometimes even inside of them. The Minox are addicted to energy and would attack any type of battery or power supply they can get their hands on. Then they can really leave you stranded in the middle of nowhere if you don't clear them off your ship before you fly. Number 3. Nebrai. The Nebrai are another type of flying pest that can be found both planetside and also in space. These limbless wind creatures were relatively harmless, but like anything, when you're traveling at 10 times the speed of sound, if you hit one of these things, it will cause damage to your ship. If you don't have the navigational shields on, Nebrai strikes are really hazardous, especially when you're taking off. You have such a small margin of error during these sequences, so it's always a good idea to clear out any flocks nearby with your deck gun if you see them. Number 2. Star Locust. Star locusts, who live in space, are not like your average garden pest insects. And if you want to know the difference between the two, first, they are extremely big, thousands of times bigger than what you've seen on Earth, and surprise, they can survive and thrive in space. These things are massive, easily the size of a starship, and their teeth are also properly scaled up as well. Sure, you could probably shoot down a single star locust, but these things traveled in massive swarms and could even overwhelm the best equipped armadas. Luckily, we know that star locusts are attracted to specific magnetic pulses, and therefore we can control them and keep them away from population centers and shipyards. Number 1. Star Weird. Star Weirds might seem like a telltale tale of spacers to one another, but I assure you, these things are very real. These humanoid-looking, ghostly figures with wispy white hair and sharp talons, and of course, those terrifying glowing eyes, they can basically appear anywhere, whether you're repairing your ship in space or even when you're flying through hyperspace. Once they see that you are looking at them, they'll let out a blood-curdling scream and just rush you and rip you to pieces with their talons. The only way to stop these things is by pouring water on them. If you do not have water with you, well, that's the end of your space journey. They can crawl through any space, and the only thing that can contain them is a force field. Alright, so that's about it, guys. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you could see one of these creatures with your own eyes, which one would it be? My money is on space whales. The idea sounds mesmerizing. Let me know your top picks in the comments. If you want to watch more videos like this, check out the channel. Do subscribe and like this video. I will catch you in the next one, and may the Force be with you.